Hi, this video is part 2 of our topic on derivatives using chain rule. So now let's look at this problem which is there projected on the screen. Square root of cos x plus square root of cos root x. So our approach is going to be the same. We are going to identify the layers of functions and then do the derivatives. Here, as I said, I'm teaching you how to find out derivatives of composite functions without directly using the chain rule. Okay, so here as you can see, the outer layer of the function is square root, and then you have the inner function which is cos x, and here as you can see the outer layer is square root, then you have the cos function, and then you have the square root x. Okay, so we'll be first taking the derivative of the outer function, so it's very important for us to know which is the outer function. Okay, so differentiating this entire function with respect to x, you will get dy by dx equal to the outer function derivative, that is going to be 1 upon 2 root cos x. So the inner functions are not touched. Now you take the derivative of the inner function, which is cos x here, and the derivative of that is minus sin x, plus here also same story, but here I'm going to put a bracket. So this is going to be 1 upon 2 root cos root x. Okay, now we'll take the derivative of the inner layer function, which is cos root x, which is going to be minus sin root x, and the derivative of root x is going to be 1 upon 2 root x. Okay, so that's straightforward. So we just simplify this whole thing out. So this is going to be minus sin x upon 2 root cos x plus sorry, this is not going to be plus, this minus sign will come out, so this is going to be minus sin root x upon 2 2s are 4, so 4 root x times root cos root x. Okay, so that is your answer for this problem. So it is simple. Only thing is you will need some practice, and of course the analysis part, the initial analysis where you identify the layers, that is very important. Okay, so now let's look at another problem where there is product rule, quotient rule involved. Okay, yeah, let's take this problem down. So we have 1 plus 4x the whole raised to 5 times 3 plus x minus x square the whole raised to 8. Okay, so here again, as you can see, the outer layer is this whole thing raised to 5. Alright, and the inner function is 1 plus 4x. Here also same story, the outer function is the whole base raised to 8. The base is 3 plus x minus x square. So as you can see, this whole function can be treated as u, this whole function can be treated as v. Okay, so now let's take the derivative here. The product rule applies, so that is going to be dy by dx equal to u derivative of v plus v derivative of u. So let's write u first, which is 1 plus 4x raised to 5 times derivative of v, which in our case is 3 plus x minus x square the whole raised to 8, plus v is 3 plus x minus x square the whole raised to 8 times derivative of u for us is 1 plus 4x raised to 5. Okay, so now let's take the derivative. So the outer, this bracket is not affected. Now the derivative here, the outer layer is this whole base raised to 8. Okay, so this is of the form x raised to 8. Okay, so that is going to be 8 times the base raised to 8 minus 1, which is 7. Okay, so the outer function derivative is taken care of. Now let's take the derivative of the inner function. Now derivative of 3 is 0, derivative of x is 1, and the derivative of minus x square is minus 2x. Okay, so that is sorted, plus then you have 3 plus x minus x square the whole raised to 8 times, now here this base raised to 5, so here the derivative is going to be 5 times the base raised to 4, 5 minus 1 will be 4, times, now let's take the derivative of this function. Now inner function, derivative of 1 is 0, derivative of 4x is 4. Right, so let's simplify all this. Now as you can see here, 1 plus 4x raised to 5, 1 plus 4x raised to 4, here you'll see that something is common there, so it's going to be 1 plus 4x raised to 4, which I'm going to take as common. Then you have here x 3x, this 3 plus x minus x square raised to 7, even that term which is common, So 3 plus x minus x square raised to 7. Okay, so this is all part of simplification, which I don't know, in my opinion you should do it. It will just simplify your answer and give it a better look. Okay, so then you have 1 plus 4x, this term is completely out, then you'll have 1 minus 2x. Okay, so I have taken into account the first term. Then now let's look at the next term, which is plus 5 fours are 20. Okay, sorry, this bracket will not end here, I'm sorry. So this is here, you'll have 3 plus x minus x square. Yeah, that is the only term which will remain, correct. Yeah, so this is your answer. Okay, so just be careful with especially with these polynomials, you might end up missing some terms and that might be just catastrophic. Okay, so now let's move to the next problem. Let me see if I've wrote this. Okay, so now let's look at this problem. 5 raised to sine cube x plus 3. Okay, so again let's look at the outer inner function. Let's distinguish that. So as you can see here, this is of the form a raised to x, correct. A is a constant, which we have 5 here. So this a raised to x type, that is the outer function. The inner function would be this polynomial, and the function inside that would be this this whole thing, sine x. Okay, so now let's go one by one. We first take the derivative of the outer layer and then we move. So dy by dx equal to, now this is of the form a raised to x, so derivative of a raised to x is a raised to x log a. Okay, now here there is something that I wish to communicate, which is inherent with calculus. So here I am not going to write log, I'll instead write ln. Okay, now this is something that you need to keep in mind. Log a, whenever you find log a written in any math book, it simply means log a to the base 10. And when you find something like ln a, ln simply means log a to the base e. Okay, and in calculus our base is always e. So in textbooks you will find log. Trust me, that is not the correct notation. This is the correct notation. It should be ln a, because we are dealing with logs in calculus. Those logs have a base of e. Okay, and it is simply written as ln a. So there is a difference between these two. So in my videos from now on, I will be sticking to this notation. Okay, it simply means natural log 5. So that is how you read it, natural log 5. All right, so the outer derivative is taken care of. Now let's take the derivative of this inner one. So this is of the form x cube plus 3, but instead of x we have sine x. So that is going to be simply 3 sine square x. Okay, so this sine cube x can be written as sine x the whole cube plus 3. So when you take a derivative here, this looks like 3 sine x raised to 3 minus 1, which is 2. So that when you open the bracket, it looks like this. Okay, now derivative of 3 is 0. Now the inner function, which is sine x, derivative of sine x is going to be cos x. Alright, so you can just neatly represent all this. Natural log 5 times 5 raised to sine cube x plus 3. So this is going to be 3. This 3 can come out. So this becomes sine square x cos x. Alright, great. So now let's move to a little difficult type of a problem. So many people get scandalized whenever they get a quotient rule type of a problem. So I will just deal with that again. I have done it in the previous video, but I'll just deal with it again. So this is going to be something like this, e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x. Okay, now this is of the form u upon v. So the derivative of such a function is going to be v times derivative of u minus u times derivative of v the whole upon v square. Okay, in the previous video I have already discussed this. The link will soon appear here. Okay, so let's find out what is the derivative of this. So v times derivative of u. So let's just write v as it is. This is our v. times derivative of u. So it's best that you write it in this format first so that you don't make a mistake. Avoid skipping steps, okay, especially in quotient rule. Then there's no turning back. If you skip steps, you will definitely miss out on something. Okay, so now you have e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x, the whole upon e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x. Okay, now let's go ahead and find out the derivative. So this bracket is going to be as it is, plus e raised to minus 2x. Now derivative here of e raised to 2x is 2 times e raised to 2x. Now here derivative of this function is going to be minus 2 will come down, so minus minus becomes plus. So plus 2 e raised to minus 2x. Okay, so I hope you got this. We'll put the bracket for our safety. Then we have e raised to 2x minus e raised to minus 2x times, now derivative of this is again going to be 2 times e raised to 2x. Now here when this 2 comes down, it comes down with its minus sign, so it's going to be minus 2 e raised to minus 2x, the whole upon this is square. This is going to be e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square. Alright, now here you can solve this the way you want. I mean, here if you see this 2 can come out, so this 2 is common, so you'll have something like this, e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square. Okay, yeah, you can do that. So this 2 is going to be common from here, this 2 will come out and you will get an expression like this. Okay, yeah, that is just simple algebra which I worked out. So again here same story, 2 will be common here, so this will be again e raised to 2x minus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square. Okay, I'm sorry, square will come in upon e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square. Alright, so this 2 can be common from here, so you will have e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square, minus e raised to 2x minus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square, the whole upon e raised to 2x plus e raised to 2x plus e raised to minus 2x, the whole square. So you can work this problem out in this way, and now if you want, you can separate the denominators, these terms will get cancelled, all those gymnastics you can try by yourself. But I hope you understood how to work with quotient rule and composite functions. Okay, I will solve 2 more problems for you, and with that I will call it a day with chain rule. Okay, so let's try, okay, which problem was I trying? Yeah. So let's try this problem. This is I'll solve 3 more problems. Okay, yeah, 3 more because I have to touch up on one more time. So this is going to be 1 minus sin x upon 1 plus sin x. Alright, so here log is the outer function, then you have the square root and then this inner function. But it's kind of difficult to work with these kind of functions, and if you look here carefully, you can rationalize and get rid of the square root sign. Okay, so let's try that out. Now we'll take the conjugate of the denominator. Okay, so in that case you will have conjugate of denominator is 1 minus sin x. So when you multiply and divide by 1 minus sin x, you will have 1 minus sin x, the whole square. I am skipping one step deliberately. Now you will have 1 plus sin x times 1 minus sin x, which is a minus b. Okay, oh, I might as well write it because there will be a lot of confused souls here. Alright, yeah, cool. So here this is of the form a plus b times a minus b, so that is simply log of square root 1 minus sin x, the whole square, upon 1 minus sin square x. Okay, now this can be simplified and written as log under root 1 minus sin x, the whole square, upon, I'm sorry, it's always going out of the view. Okay, fine. Now here the square root can take out these squares here. Alright, so this expression will get simplified as 1 minus sin x upon cos x. Okay, so I have y equal to log 1 minus sin x upon cos x. So I'll just write that whole thing here again. So we'll have y equal to log of 1 minus sin x upon cos x. So log is the outer function, correct? And the inner function is this u upon v form. Okay, so watch what I do here. So I'll take the outer derivative first. Log x is going to be 1 upon x. So x in our case is this entire bracket. So that will be 1 minus sin x upon cos x. Okay, now we have to take the derivative of this inner function. So that is simply going to be v times derivative of u minus u times derivative of v. Okay, so this will be cos x times derivative of 1 minus sin x minus 1 minus sin x times derivative of cos x. Cool. So this is whole upon cos square x. Now let's here the denominator of the denominator goes up, so this will be cos x times 1 minus sin x. Okay, so cos x upon 1 minus sin x, I'm sorry about that. So cos x, now derivative of this function, derivative of 1 is 0, correct, and derivative of sin x is cos x with the minus sign. Okay, so I hope you understood this part. Minus this is going to remain as it is. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x, the whole upon cos square x. So if you notice here, this cos square x and this cos x will get cancelled. So this is going to be 1 minus sin x. Now let's take on the derivative here. So this will be minus cos square x plus 1 minus sin x times sin x, the whole upon cos x. Okay, so this is simply put 1 minus sin x times sin x minus cos square x. So I've just switched their positions upon the whole upon 1 minus sin x times cos x. So you can go ahead and still try something. So this is going to be 1 minus sin x cos times sin x upon 1 minus sin x cos x, okay, minus cos square x upon cos x. Alright, so here this entire bracket will cancel here. So this whole expression simplifies into this much. Okay, so this is how you solve a derivative of this type. Okay, now let's move to another type here, another type that I wish to discuss. So I'm trying to keep my videos as long as only 22 minutes. So I've left 4 minutes. I'm left with 4 minutes. In case if my video gets cut off, please don't worry. I'll just try to finish this important problem and the next problem as well. If that is not completed, you can complete it by yourself. Okay, so now let's look at this problem. 25 raised to log times log sec x, not times, to the base 5. Okay, here I have not written natural log because my base is 5. Then you have 16 raised to log tan x. Okay, this is very tedious, to the base 4. Alright, now 25 can be written as 5 square, correct? So 5 square means you will have 2 times log sec x to the base 5 minus 16. Sorry, this 16 can be written as 4 square, correct? So this will be, that square will go, that 2 will go out and it will join up this log here. Now as you can see very clearly, the bases of both these logs are same. Okay, I mean the base of this log is 5 and the base of this number is also the same. Alright, so now what we do here is, if you have a situation like this, this whole thing, according to the laws of logarithms, it will reduce to something like this. Okay, so it's simply going to be f of x. Okay, it is simply going to be f of x. So what will happen here is you will be left with sec x minus tan x. That's it. You will be left with sec x minus tan x. Okay, I'm sorry, this 2 will go up. I'm sorry, so this will be sec square x time minus tan square x. Okay, I'm sorry about that. This 2 will go in because according to the laws of logarithms. So here, as you can see, the base of this logarithm is a, and the base of this entire number is also a, this exponent. So whatever is going to be the log of that function itself will remain. Now here this 2 was there multiplied to this log. So according to the law, this 2 will be the exponent of sec square x. Now sec square x minus tan x is 1. Yeah, that's it. So y is equal to 1. Derivative of this function is 0. That's it. Okay, it's as simple as that. So I hope you followed this type of a problem, and you'll be able to solve it whenever you come across something like this. So I guess I have finished more or less whatever I had to tell you. Maybe I'll solve one more problem just to make it even. Yeah, so I've solved 1 dozen, but still let me see if I can solve this one. So y equal to x upon square root 7 minus 3x. Okay, so again, as you can see, you'll have to use the quotient rule, but within the quotient rule there's going to be a scope of using our chain rule. Okay, now here I'm not directly using chain rule, I'm doing it in the indirect way where I'm solving this problem without the chain rule. U upon v, so it's going to be v times derivative of u. So v times, this is v times derivative of u, correct, minus u times derivative of v. So that is root of 7 minus 3x, the whole upon square root of 7 minus 3x the whole square. Okay, so watch what will happen here. So this is 7 minus 3x times derivative of x is 1 minus x times, now here the outer function is the square root. So root of 7 minus 3x times, now we'll have to take the derivative of the inner function, which is 7 minus 3x. So derivative of that is 7, derivative is 0, minus 3x is going to be minus 3. The whole upon, now here this is square root of 7 minus 3x the whole square. So the square root will go away. So we have here square root of 7 minus 3x, minus minus becoming plus. We'll have 3x upon 2 root 7 minus 3x, the whole upon 7 minus 3x. Okay, you can go ahead, equalize the denominator and simplify it. That is up to you. You will have to solve that. But my whole idea here with these two videos were to show you how to do derivatives using chain rule, and also how to solve and find derivatives of composite functions without directly using the chain rule. Alright, so in future you will know how to solve and get the derivative of composite functions without directly using the chain rule. Okay, that's the whole idea. Of course you need to know how to use chain rule, but when you have functions like these chain rules, I mean, you'll have a lot of substitutions and you'll lose track of where the problem is and how to finish it. Okay, so thank you.